G'day, it's Staf here from the TAB. I've got my paper out. I've written in red pen because I'm angry, because I got a few wrong last week, but I've put in the work this week. And so the first game that we're going to concentrate on, I think, is easy. It's down in Investec. The Highlanders are rested. They're ready to roll. They've had a fantastic start to the season, and they're up against the Brumbies side that have been stuttering. They got beaten last week in Canberra. They'll be hurting. There was glimpses from the Brumbies that they're coming back into it. A nice try by Ben Alexander. He's a try-scoring prop. He won't get the easy passage through that Highlander, which is the Otago Southland forward pack. So, and that's their best way to score tries too, I think, the Brumbies. The Highlanders are lying in wait. They will beat the Brumbies and they will beat them well. They can't wait to play in Investec. That's game one. Friday night as well, and we're over in Sydney, and the Chiefs travel over there to take on the Waratahs, who did get a nice win last week, a very close win, and they had to because they had that pumping by the Cheetahs the week before, and I'm going to give them that as a blip on the radar for their season. The Chiefs, conversely, they seem to be making losing by narrow margins a bit of a habit. They've had 4 losses, all by 10 points or less. I really do think the Chiefs can win, but I think the Waratahs might win. So what am I going to say? I'm going to say Chiefs by 1 in that game. Next game up, just can't decide on that one. Blues against the Cheetahs. This one's easier. Blues will pump the Cheetahs. They were very good in the rain last week against the Chiefs. They'll probably get rain again because it's in Auckland and it rains every day up there. Jared Payne got a very nice try in the wet. They would have learned from last week how to play, you know, in that wet, slippery conditions. And if they do get that, well, that's going to be very foreign for the Cheetahs. I think big numbers on the Blue side of the ledger, very small numbers on the Cheetah side of the ledger. Saturday night in Hawke's Bay sees the Hurricanes taking on the Bulls, but I want to rename the Bulls to the Bobby Calves because they are nowhere near as good as they used to be. They've had 3 wins, yes, but look at who they've beaten. The Lions twice and the Cheetahs once. Whenever they play a real team, and I'm talking about the Stormers and the Highlanders, they've been beaten, and they've been beaten at home. Now they've headed offshore for the first time. It's time for the Hurricanes to step up. Yes, the Bulls got a nice try last week, didn't they? Going through the midfield there in a big fancy dive, but they won't be doing that against Manonu and Conrad Smith. They're tired of being embarrassed. The senior players are going to step up. The Hawke's Bay crowd at McLean Park will get in behind them. The Hurricanes are going to win, and I'm going to say they're going to win easy. 13 and over to the boys in yellow, please. So rounding out Saturday night, we've got the Force against the Rebels. It's 12 on the table against 13. Nothing really in it. I think they're both on 11 competition points. I'd have to take the Force simply because they're at home, and the Rebels seem to be saving their good performances for Melbourne. So the Force for me in that one. Next one is the Lions against the Reds. Well, strap yourself in. This will be a high-octane game. The ball will be all over the place, and it's going to be a real test of fitness. The real Reds are back, the running Reds. I think they will run the Lions ragged. High-scoring game. One team in the 40s, one team in the 30s, and I think it'll be the Reds in the 40s. Could be close, but it'll be very high-scoring. Last one of the round, Sharks against the Stormers. I'm sort of starting to feel a bit sorry for the Sharks. They are travelling nomads at the moment. I think they've gone Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Twickenham, back to Africa to take on the table-topping Stormers, and I just think that might be one trip too many. They got bashed by the Crusaders. They were good. They were real good against the Crusaders, but I just think there's too many things in the Stormers' favour. So the best 2 teams in Africa clash, well worth a watch, but for me, the Stormers. Only narrow, maybe 2 or 3 points, but I'm saying the Stormers will stay unbeaten this week. Stick with me. I'll get them all right one week. Maybe not this week. There's some tight ones, but we'll keep on cracking on. And I'll make my bet of the week this week. The Hurricanes 30 and over. It's going to pay plenty, and you'll make plenty.